Hello my friends, welcome back. In this lesson we're going to develop our bowing technique further. I'm going to give you pointers how you can promote a good bow hold and a good bowing technique. So by the end of the lesson I should imagine that you have developed your bowing technique in a really good way that opens up possibilities for yet further development. So let's go ahead and let's get started. You know the names of the strings now, G, D, A and E, and I'm going to start my bowing on the G string and I'm going to practice playing with long bows. So your left hand can hold the violin like this and we're going to play 4 long bow strokes on the G string first. Amazing. Now when we play the violin, we aim to bow parallel to the bridge, about a centimetre away from the bridge. Later on we'll refine that, but for now that's a really good starting point. So in order for us to play alongside the bridge all the time, I will need to point my bow arm forward. And the strange thing is we always think that bowing goes like that, but actually straight bowing goes like that. So I'm reaching my hand straight in front of me, you see. So if you find your bow drifting like this and it slips over the fingerboard, that means that your hand has gone to your side rather than staying straight in front. So let's do the same exercise again. And let's bow straight, so point your bow hand forwards so that your arm finishes there and not on your side. And I think you will agree with me that that already gives you a much better bow, and also it enables you to reach the point of the bow. In order for you to be able to play straight, it depends also on the position of your violin. So when you have your violin up on your shoulder, try to have it so high up that this corner of your jaw is on the chin rest. The strange thing is that this thing is called chin rest, but my chin isn't actually on there. Maybe you'd already noticed that. So I see quite a few people playing the violin like that, where their violin is slipped and the chin is on the chin rest. So if you feel that your position is very similar to this, what you might want to do is to slide your violin over your collarbone further to the side, and then make sure that the angle of your violin is at about 45 degrees. That will feel a bit strange at first because your violin is a bit more sideways. It will make your bowing a lot easier because if my violin's here, my bow hand cannot really straighten out in front. It would go more to the side and therefore slip more. On the other hand, if my violin was further to the left side, I would have to stretch way too far forward. So about at a 45-degree angle, really high up, so really close to your earlobe is where your violin is. And initially that feels a bit weird, but trust me, that will be the way forward for your playing. So let's do that again on the G string. Now straighten your arm so that you can perhaps see that my hand is straight in front of me there. When you play, you might make a habit at this stage of looking at the contact point where the bow is in contact with the strings, so that you have more control because you have the visual as well as what it feels like. Let's do that again. Awesome bowing. That's getting better and better every time you have a go. In order for us to be able to reach forward with the bow, my bow hand should be really, really soft and my fingers will move depending on where I am on the bow. Have a look. So can you see that my fingers are now much straighter compared with when I was playing right here. Now that in the initial stages is really hard to achieve, but we can check the bow hold so that you can start to think about that. And whilst you may be gripping the bow quite considerably at this stage, and that's quite normal for beginners to do, as you progress, you will gradually be able to find that softer bow hold. And when you have a softer bow hold, you will be able to bow with more flexible fingers. So that is maybe something to come, but we're working on it straight away. So let's have a good look at your bow hold again in greater detail. Now, when I bow, my hand is almost in a like claw-like shape. Can you see? My middle finger and my thumb are opposite each other, and I'm playing with a bent thumb, and my thumb touches or nearly touches the middle finger almost at its first joint. Can you see? So it's not here, it's not there, it's not there, but it's where that joint is. That's where I'm touching my middle finger with my bow. And my thumb, if you have a really good look, I mean, this corner really cries out for your thumb, doesn't it? But actually your thumb should be there on the wooden part. Can you see? I'll show it to you from that angle as well. So not there, but there, that's where your thumb goes. Now I'm placing my middle finger across from my thumb at the middle joint, and now I'm sort of rounding my middle finger over the bow. Now I'm dropping my third finger down and also my index finger, and I'm placing my index finger so that it's about a finger width away from my middle finger, and I do the same with my pinky finger. My pinky finger is also about a space away. Now can you see that my pinky finger is leaning against the side edge? Take a good look at your bow, because most bows have got edges here, whereas some might be round here at this end of the stick, but most have got edges here, and that is so that you know where to place your pinky, and your pinky should be on the side edge, so not on the top but on the side, sideways across to on your side, shall we say. So now when I place my fingers, I can place my pinky round and on the side, and don't worry, because your pinky may go straight away. Eventually you'll be able to soften your bow hold and your pinky will be able to curve. So that is the ultimate goal. But perhaps today it may bend for a while and then go straight. That's okay. This is a process that you will be developing. Here you get that movement in my fingers that I was talking about earlier. And if you have a look at various shorts on my short section of my channel, you can find lots of exercises that help you develop this bow hold. We will very frequently revisit this aspect of your violin playing, but for now that'll do me fine. So let's go back now to the bowing that we did earlier. So we've got the violin high up on our shoulder. We've got a much improved bow hold. Now this time, when we play on that G string again, let's have a look at our shoulder. And I want you to double check that your shoulder is in its lowest position so that you're not bowing like that. So drop your shoulder down if you can. Let's check also that your right elbow is about level with the G string. So you want to make sure that your elbow is not too low and neither is it too high. You see, so my elbow is usually level with the string that I'm playing on, which we come to in a moment. Let's first practice our 4 Gs again, shall we? Push that bow arm forwards. Amazing, and that's improving all the time, I'm sure. Now let's go to the E string, which is the string at the other end, so that's that thin string on the right hand side. And let's consider our shoulder and elbow level now. Okay, so my shoulder is still in its lowest position, but you can perhaps see that my elbow's gone a lot lower because my elbow level determines my string that I'm playing on. Now this is a very useful exercise. It might be better to practice it when your bow is resting in the middle on the strings. Do this exercise a few more times, because it makes you aware of where your elbow level is. So my elbow can move independently from my shoulder. Can you see? Not many people realize this, that this is the case. You don't have to lift up your shoulder in order to lift up your elbow, but you can perhaps lift up your elbow and leave your shoulder down. And that is what we're aiming at. Now, when we're playing on the E string, you can see that my elbow is really quite low. So now let's play 4 bow strokes on the E string, keeping your elbow low and bow straight in front. Here we go. Amazing. And when you play the A string and the D string, so the A string is the second string from the right and the D string is the second string from the left, when you practice those this week as well, your elbow comes up a little bit higher all the time, you see. So try to think about your elbow levels as you play on the various strings, and I would encourage you to play really slowly and just explore this straight bowing this week, because then you're setting yourself up for a really good basic technique. One word of troubleshooting right at the end of this lesson. Lots of players tell me that in the beginning they have the shakes when they play. So when they play on the G string in particular, and they hit the upper half of the bow begins to shake. If that is you, that is perfectly normal, so please don't worry about it too much. The more you worry about it, the more it will shake. This is very much a psychological thing. What can you do about it? The shakiness is usually a sign of tension somewhere in your upper arm. So somewhere here there might be tension, which is totally understandable, and lots of people come across this issue, and that's what gives you the shakes. And as you progress and you learn to play with less tension in your bow arm, the shaking will eventually go. But when you play and you come across it and you feel, it's going to shake, stop the bow and release the tension in your upper arm and your right shoulder, and then continue your bow stroke. And then you might feel it again when you're near the upper half of the bow. When you feel the shakes come along here, stop the bow, drop all of this down. Try to relax it more. Try squeezing less hard in that bow as well. So I'm really curious to know how you are doing. So why not use the comment section down below this video and write about it. I mean, this is your 4th lesson, so it's early days, but it's really nice for other people joining in with us all over the world, having a go at playing the violin for the first time. Let us know how you're getting on. Are you making the sound that you had intended? Is it very different from how you expected the violin to be? Lots of people always tell me it's much louder than I thought it would be. So if that's you, let us know. And I very much look forward to seeing you in the next lesson, where we're going to be thinking about this bowing technique a little bit more deeply. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you very soon. Goodbye.